What's up, meatballs? I'm Will from Nerdtropolis, and welcome to the Kamehameha Kid, where we do nothing but discuss anime content. Now, if you remember from our last video, our editor and very foolish person, Joe Nomak, said some very insulting things to the whole entire Dragon Ball community, comparing a certain legendary Saiyan warrior to a complete fool who can't even put his underwear on properly.
Okay, so what you're saying is he's an overpowered superhuman alien that crash lands to Earth and gets adopted by a farmer.
Hmm?
So what you're saying is he's super...
Don't you dare finish that sentence! Don't you do it! Never compare the two! He really was not liked by anybody in that community. He may say he doesn't care, but he actually does. So, first thing we did was we decided to make him have an apology video.
Hi folks. Last time I made some very controversial comments about a certain animation hero named Goku being more similar to a superhero of the DC persuasion. I would like to address my ignorance. Before I met Will and started doing this show, I had no clue about anime. But I'm learning, guys. So I want to publicly apologize for my comments. They were out of ignorance, and I'm getting better at learning about this anime thing. I had no clue that the fan base was as as passionate as I originally thought.
I know for a fact that when we got to the part of the apology for me, I was so very mature about it.
Alright, well, you're next.
I do not approve of this! And that was the story of how we got to this point in our time. So, it has been brought to my attention that there are people on this channel that cannot accept the truth about GT.
That's not an apology.
Recently, I made a couple of videos that, while true, were very offensive to you all. So, I'm sorry. That you're all such sensitive babies that you can't handle the truth. Moving on now.
That is not an apology.
Says it when you name Goku after the little bitch of a hero.
No.
Fine! I know everybody is very passionate about GT. Even though they use logic like it's fact because you all say so.
You're drifting, Will.
You all have your opinions, and I have mine. So with that being said, I shouldn't have said what I said, and I am truly, sincerely sorry.
Actually, I kind of put out a public statement that the way you apologize, you have to list 10 things you actually liked about Dragon Ball GT.
What? So, apparently I have to talk positively about that show. Believe me, this is a bitter pill to swallow for everyone who knows the truth. Despite the many flaws, inconsistencies, and assholes that is GT, it does have some good things about it. They are hard to find. In fact, you would have to look through a microscope to find them. But if you look closely enough, they at least have some cool things that go for it. So here are my top 10. So here are my top 10 favorite things about Dragon Ball GT. Number 10, different ideas for arcs. There are a lot of cool concepts for ideas of arcs on the show, such as the Tuffles finally getting revenge on the Saiyans after they had basically nearly eliminated the entire race. And my most favorite one of GT was the Black Star Dragon Ball arc. I'll get into a little bit more detail on it later on in this list, but I will give a basic synopsis on using the Dragon Ball too much, bad, and them having to make up for it by destroying the evil within them, good. Number 9, the music. More specifically the Japanese, because we all could not stand the sound of the Japanese music. When you hear it, when you hear the music in a fight scene in GT, when it's in Japanese, it feels like it fits everything perfectly. It doesn't matter if it's English dub or English subbed. It just seems to balance it very, very well. Especially with the Japanese intro and all the outros it had with it. They all sounded very beautiful, and Den Den Kokorori Karu is a gorgeous song that deserves to be on this list. Number 8. Oob being a stronger character. When we last left Goku off in Dragon Ball Z, Oob was pretty much unable to control the power that he had, being the reincarnation of the evil Majin Buu. But he wasn't a bad character. I wish he was used more and had better potential, but he didn't do too bad when he fought Baby, as much as it hurts me to say that without vomiting. But if having the power that he used when he combined with the original Majin Buu to make himself stronger, seeing him be able to fight Baby almost on par, even though he was holding back, was pretty cool. Too bad that was the only thing he got. Number 7. Goten was his own character. More specifically, he wasn't Goku 2.0 like he was supposed to be. When Goten was first created in Dragon Ball Z Season 7, he was a character who was supposed to replace Gohan as the main character because he got soft and lazy. So Goten was supposed to be the next generation. But when that didn't turn out, Gohan went back to being the main character. And when that wasn't good enough for everybody, it went back to Goku. Goten, on the other hand, wasn't anything like Gohan or Goten. He wasn't like super smart and intellectual, wanting to have a super cool job like Gohan was. But he also wasn't battle obsessed like Goku was. He was more of a ladies' man. He wanted a girlfriend. And as annoying as that can be, for the case of Goten, it's a nice change of pace. We don't need another Goku 2.0. We already have Goku. We love him just the way he is. Number 6, the fight scenes. Now, GT doesn't have the greatest of all fight scenes all the time, but when it does things right, it does things right. For example, seeing Goku as a Super Saiyan 4 against a Baby is actually a pretty cool thing to see. Whether he's his little second stage form or his giant Golden Uzaru form, I liked it. And when you see stuff like Super 17 against all the other Z fighters, that's a fun thing to watch them try to fight 17. And against all the Shadow Dragons, that's always a beautiful thing. Number 5, the possibility of what happened after Z. Now, for those of you that don't know, GT is not canon. You can boo at me all you want. It's still true. Now, the thing with GT, it might not be canon, but I like to see the possibility of how Goku did train Oob. I wish we had seen more of what happened, like during the training, maybe a couple flashbacks here and there. But it's a cool thing to see what happened, like Goku after like 5 or 7 years of them doing their training and everything. Number 4, new techniques. To be fair, technically our main heroes only got 2. Vegeta got something that was like a one-handed final flash where it was called the final shine attack. Imagine it being a green beam of lightning attacking you. That does look pretty cool. And then we have Goku's 10 times Kamehameha, a red Kamehameha that's 10 times more powerful than a super Kamehameha. You know, after thinking about it, maybe that's why they say the multiplier of Super Saiyan 4 is only 10 times. Anyways, and lastly, one of my favorite techniques, the Dragon Fist. A powerful technique with your bare fist that creates a giant golden key dragon that can pierce anything. How is that not cool? To anybody! Sure, it doesn't make sense on how it was done with as little energy as Goku had. But then again, most of GT didn't make sense anyway, so I guess it all plays out. Number 3, the Shadow Dragon Saga. See, I told you I was going to get back to that. The Shadow Dragon Saga is basically going to tell you the consequences of what happens when you use the Dragon Balls too much. Imagine you're in a cartoon and you have your suitcase. You stuff it full of clothes and junk. What's going to happen when you stuff it too much? That's right, it blows up. And everything explodes. Such is the case with the Shadow Dragons. You use the Dragon Balls too much, the negative energy within them basically leaks out, causing the Smoke Dragon to appear, which will eventually cause the 7 evil dragons to appear. And each wish, every single wish that they made, caused them to exist in the first place. It's a cool concept. The only flaw with it is, it's too short. I get it, it was cancelled before it could get better, but wouldn't you wanted to see a little bit more? Wouldn't you want it to not be so rushed as they were trying to find the dragons? I know I would have. Number 2, Super Saiyan 4. The mighty hybrid of a normal Super Saiyan and the mighty Uzaru form condensed in a more human-sized form. It doesn't make sense that Goku went from a tiny little child to being a giant adult again, but I think it's just because, like, the adult body's able to handle it better than a child body. I mean, we all saw what happened when you had Super Saiyan 3. And then when you grow the things you need are blood swaves.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is this the picture you showed me? It looks like monkeys going to a pajama party. Is that the one?
Sounds about right.
That kind of sucks. Sorry, continue.
Joe isn't entirely wrong, though. In a way, it makes sense to have them, like, go back to their inner roots as an ape, but it does look kind of weird. The red fur and all makes it look really powerful, and I will give it credit for that, but at what cost, really? Now, you can bag on Super Dragon Ball Heroes all you want, but Xeno Goku did make Super Saiyan 4 look good. It had more victories and wins, it made it look cooler, and it drove Super Saiyan 4 more off the map. You could argue some of the other video games did it first, but I think that Super Dragon Ball Heroes did it better. But I will say the red fur does look kind of cool on Super Saiyan 4 Goku. And the number one thing that I absolutely loved about Dragon Ball GT was the final episode, Because that's when the torture all finally ended. The end!
Well, no.
Fine. I'll take this more seriously. The final episode was actually very well executed. It's basically saying goodbye to every one of our heroes. No, Goku, Gohan, Goten, Trunks, Pan, etc. This is the final episode of Dragon Ball to ever air until we get Dragon Ball Super. And we see flashbacks of Goku as he's walking away from 100 years in the future. He's walking away and we see flashbacks of him from a child growing up into an adult and going through everything he did up until the baby saga. And it talks about how he had helped mold our childhoods. This was the end of the story of the Dragon Balls. Everything that we loved, we had cherished for years, that had started off with Akira Toriyama's writing, ended with GT. And it was a very emotional moment for all of us. Don't lie, you all cried once you got to the end of the last few minutes of GT. I mean, I didn't cry at least. I at least got emotional. So, do I have any closing statements on this? Yes. GT wasn't perfect. It had, like I said, a lot of inconsistencies, a lot of flaws, a lot of unexplained things that could go on and on and on about, and a big ass pull. But in the end, I'm glad I watched it. I just think it's my least favorite part of the franchise. It's still a good part of it, and I will say that I do recommend it. If you're someone like me who's extra observant of things and just will pick things apart, then I would say this isn't exactly for you. But if you're also like me who's a little bit more casual and lenient about it and is willing to enjoy the show for what it is, well, then all I like to say is step into the grand tour that is Dragon Ball GT. All I ask is for one favor. Don't hate me for this. If you give me a chance, I would like to be able to work to reveal my secret project that I have been wanting to talk about for a long time. I would like to be able to do a rewrite of Dragon Ball GT just for you guys. Because I want to show to you that I can make it better than what the original GT was. I at least want to spread my ideas around. And if you feel like you have to spread your opinions to me, fine. You don't have to like it, you don't have to love it. You can hate it all you want. So, if you enjoy our very fascinating storytelling like this, make sure you hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe as well as hit that bell notification to know when we post next. It'll help us a lot more and you more than you think. Until then, make sure you follow the road signs. We'll see you next time.